Hello, welcome to the Wellness Series. This session will be available in the Virtual Fitness Center. Please contact your site EHS point of contact if you have any questions. Ken, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Ken. I'm going to be taking you through a little 10-minute stretch today. Today, the focus will be on the hips, glutes. We'll do a little bit of shoulder and upper back. These are some common areas that we see with working folks, whether it's from the chair that we're working all day or whether we're doing work where we're leaning a lot or bending a lot. We see a lot of shortening in the hip flexors and a lot of extending in the back of the area. So we're going to try to just work through that today, see if we can get you stretched out, see if we can get you a little bit more flexible. Today, you can use a regular chair. We'll be doing some of the exercises from the chair. Some will be standing. If you have a roller chair, you can still use that chair. Just make sure you have it braced somewhere where it's not going to roll off on you. There'll be some of the exercises here we'll do that will have you seated in the chair on the end, so just make sure you don't roll out. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get you stretched out. Now, we're going to start right in the chair. I want to go right into the glutes and hip flexors. So you heard me mention hip flexors. I may have mentioned psoas as well. These are our small muscle groups right here that basically help us bend up and down. And what we do is when we are bending up and down all day, we tend to either underuse or overuse those. So let's go ahead and start into a glute stretch first, and then we'll get into those hip flexors. So we're going to come right up here. Now, if you can't pull your leg like this, I want you to try to straighten and bring it here. You can grab the back of the heel and pull it up, or if that's as far as you can go, this is fine too. If you can get it all the way up here, this is our preferred position. We're going to take one hand on the ankle. We're going to take the other hand on the knee. We're just going to slightly push down. Now, during this stretch, I'm going to show you a couple different angles. I might even get up and show you something, but I want you to stay in that stretch until we say switch or until I say done. That way you can really maintain and feel that stretch the whole time. So we're pressing down right now. We may feel this a little bit in the back here, even in the crease of our hip there. It may feel like a pull. And that is what we're doing. What we're basically doing is we're pulling on that hip flexor. We're trying to pull that hip down or the pelvis down, and it's pulling on the hip flexor. Again, a lot of sitting or a lot of bended position can cause those hip flexors to shorten. Then we try to stand up and do our normal routines that we want to do outside of work. And they're in a shortened sense. We try to lengthen them by standing up tall, and then they fight back by pulling the hips under, which tends to pull on our low back, giving us that low back pain or tension. From here, I want you to now switch positions to where now both hands are on the top of the knee. We're going to do what we call wringing out the towel here. We're going to pull this knee up to the right shoulder. As we pull it up to the shoulder, I want you to look over your left shoulder. So we're looking the opposite way, and we're basically wringing out that towel, right? We should feel that come right along this whole glute, what we call glute complex. It's the glute medius, glute maximus, and minimus down here. So we're just pulling across that body. Excellent. This is a really good stretch to open up those glutes. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Go ahead and shake that leg out. Now let's go ahead and bring this one back up. We're going to do the same thing again. If you can't get there with the bend, you can grab the back of the ankle. You can stay here. Do this stretch from this position. If not, meet me up here at the knee. We're going to push straight down again. Feel that it may be a little uncomfortable. Doesn't quite feel like a stretch sometimes. Sometimes it feels like it's pulling. That's okay. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to actually pull on those hip flexors and psoas area, trying to tell the hip flexors, hey, time to do some work. Time to get a little stretch out going. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead now. We've got our good rotation. So we're rotating now over the right shoulder with our head, pulling the right knee to the left shoulder. Feeling that good pull along the glute complex. Good. Every time we're stretching, one of the things we want to remember is breathing. Breathing brings oxygen into our bloodstream. It oxygenates the muscles. This gives us all the energy and all the stamina we need in our muscles and our bodies. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Breathing also allows us to just relax. It allows that flexibility to happen a little bit easier. Okay, so we did a little bit of hip flexor, a little bit of glute. I want to show you a standing hip flexor. So have us stand with me, and we're going to use the chair a little bit differently here. So the chair is just going to be our balancer. We're going to take our left foot, stick it a little forward, and take our right foot and bring it back. Now, all we want to do here, and I'm going to show you both angles here, but we're just going to try to drop the legs down. So just so you see the both angles. So we've got one forward and one back. We're not really bending the knee per se. I'm dropping the hip down. So this knee's going a little forward so that I feel a little stretch in here. Now, if I want to feel a little bit more, I can also lift up this arm. What this will do, this will extend that fascia there, pulling on that hip flexor a little bit more. You're going to feel the back of the hamstring, feel some quad, and you'll feel some quad right here. Okay, this is what we call a hurdle stretch or a runner stretch. Good, and I like to do these ones standing. You can do these kneeling. Not everybody has it loves to get down on the knee, so this is a good one just to stay there. Standing, good stretch. Hard to hold sometimes, right? Go ahead and come up from there. We may feel like the legs want to give out. The legs are a little tired, but it's a really good stretch. It extends out the body, extends out the fascia of the body, which is that connective tissue that protects all the muscle. And you can even work on a little bit of balance, not the focus here, but if you can let go, that's great as well. I always like to have the chair that way. We don't have to worry about balance. We worry about the flexibility part. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. So from here, let's get a little bit, we'll come up a little bit. I want to look at an upper back stretch, one of my favorite with a chair. We're going to take this chair here. If you have a chair with 4 legs, it does work pretty good. If you have a wheelie chair, same thing. What we're going to do, we're going to use our arms to extend our glutes back, right? We're going to extend the glutes back as we reach forward with that chair. If you have the four peg chair, you can just reach on those front 2 pegs. If you have a slider chair, it's just going to look like that, right? Same thing. You may feel a little bit more hamstring if on the roller chair, a little bit more upper back if you're on that 2-prong chair. Remember, trying to get those big, big lat muscles. Good. Let's go ahead and hold that 3, 2, 1, then come back up. Nice and tall. Now take a big breath. As we exhale, now, if you have that 4, we're going to go to 1-prong. If you have the roller chair, we're going to go out. If you don't have a chair at all, you're just reaching out, right? We can do this just as easily reaching out. As I stated earlier, you may feel a little more hamstring without the chair. The chair allows us to kind of have something to reach forward on. Flat back here, we're not looking to drop the back. We're looking to kind of push the butt behind us and stretch out that back. Let's go ahead and come up here. And if we did one side, we got to do the other. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Let's go ahead and hit the chest a little bit next. Now, this one you can use a chair, you can use the hands. If you struggle with getting the hands behind like this, you can actually take the foot, step on the chair, and you can actually reach forward a little bit, only if you need it, or you can sit at the end of the chair, grab the back of the chair, reach forward. If you don't need that, you can grab both of the hands. Want to open up this chest cavity. Another issue that we have when we're looking at overuse injuries, or we're even looking at sitting a lot, we have that hunch over. A lot of us do a lot of good rowing, things like that. We want to make sure we really stretch and open up that chest cavity, because if the chest is tight, it's going to keep pulling the shoulders forward. Hold that stretch. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and clasp the hands here. We're just going to reach forward here a little bit. And all I want to do, back bend a little bit, just like we kind of did there. It's going to get a little bit more in the back, upper back, if you will, rear deltoids. Good, and coming back up. Open that up. Let's get a good big reach here. Clasp them. Reach it straight up now. When we clasp and reach straight up, now we're taking a little bit of serratus muscles, those are the rib cage muscles. Big breath in, a little lean over. Big breath in, a little lean over. Good. And take one big breath. We're going to open up real quick. Just up we go. We're going to reach to that right foot. If we can touch the ground, that's great. If not, we try to go to the calf, or we try to go to that tongue of the shoe, or down to the foot. And then when I want to do one big semicircle, walking those hip fingers, trying to have them always touching the ground, over to the left side. Let's bring it right back up to the middle. And with me, big inhale, big exhale. We covered a couple of the big muscle groups, some of the big trouble areas that we see: glutes, hip flexors, back, shoulders, and a little bit of chest. With that, I thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you're a little bit more flexible and you learned a little bit more about your body. Thanks so much for joining me. Hopefully we'll see you next time.